The Rip reunites Ben Affleck and Matt Damon for the first time in years. Let's see if their chemistry is still top-notch. Que lo que, mi gente del Caribe. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I appreciate all of your support as always. Today we're going to be talking about The Rip. This story follows a narcotics unit that raids a stash house on a seemingly routine bust that turns out to uncover a larger sum of money than originally anticipated as the crew worries if there's a rat in the police department or if the cartel is involved. I was really excited to see this movie because the last movies that we've seen with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, they haven't been quite like this. They're still good. There's The Last Duel, which is more of an intense historical drama, and then there's Air, which is a sports drama based on the true story, of course. And those are both fantastic films, but this one has more of them interacting with one another, whereas those films, they're just both in those movies, but don't get to work together as much per se. Whereas this film gets to really explore their dynamic together, their chemistry together, working on screen and having that camaraderie. And I think that their performances here are fantastic, and I think their real life friendship translates really well onto the screen and into the film itself. And so it's really just entertaining and engaging to watch from that perspective. But even aside from that, this movie is really well done. I enjoyed the story. I think there's a lot of mystery in it. I liked how you are trying to figure out who is the corrupt cop, who isn't, and the paranoia just kind of starts to build, largely in part due to the supporting cast. Tiana Taylor, she is fantastic here, as well as Steven Yeun. I think they were both incredible. And Catalina Moreno, she was also fantastic. I think that entire group, they just did a good job of showing the dynamic of this tight-knit crew as the paranoia kind of sets in and crumbles them down a little bit. I would have liked to see a little more of that exploration of that breaking down of the paranoia, but nonetheless, it was still effective, and I think that they all turned in some really fantastic performances. In terms of the mystery, as I mentioned, it's interesting, it's engaging, but I was able to call out the two big reveals. I predicted it pretty much right away, so in that sense, there's a little bit of routineness that comes with the overall story that I was hoping a little bit more originality with those reveals. But in the same breath, there are other reveals in the film, other twists that happen that do a good job of subverting your expectations and still making you wonder, how are they going to wrap up this mystery? How are they going to solve who the corrupt cop is? And so I thought that they still did a good job. The action itself is also very solid, had a great time with it, but it is important to understand that while the action is great and it's intense and they have some really solid, palpable tension, it is not a lot of action. This movie functions more as a crime thriller and a bit of a whodunit mystery as opposed to a all-out action film. So I wouldn't say to go into this movie expecting an action-adventure extravaganza, because I think you might be a little disappointed because it's more of a slow burn crime thriller. So I think just go into it with that mentality and you'll be able to really appreciate it. And I had an absolutely great and fantastic time with it. Other than me mentioning some of those twists being a little predictable and wanting to see a little more of the supporting cast and the breakdown of the paranoia, the only other issue that I had with this film is that some of the editing felt somewhat unpolished. So for example, there's a scene where one of the characters is shooting what looks like straight to the sky. It doesn't look like they're hitting much of anything, but somehow in the next shot, they managed to hit a car when they were just shooting straight into the sky. So it doesn't make sense. Some of the editing feels a little bit cut together in a rush. And so I would have liked if they polished the editing a little bit more before releasing this final cut. So, but that's more of a nitpick. I don't think too many people are going to notice that. That was just me really being hyper observant. But I had a fun time with this movie. I think it's a great action film, a great crime thriller, and has some really fantastic performances, and it's worth watching for all of those reasons alone. So for all of that, I am going to give The Rip a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Did you guys watch this movie? What did you think? Did you like it? Did you not like it? what was missing from it, if there was anything that you think it didn't completely deliver on. I'd be curious to hear your thoughts down in the comments below and continue the conversation. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.